This morning, mainly, the plan is for you to do lots and lots of research, for you to work as a team in your group, and for you to discover a lot about Tudor exploration. And a really important thing about this morning is you need to communicate with the other groups as well.
At the moment, I think most teachers use the learning platform as something that has to be done separately from the day-to-day teaching.
So we've set up this forum. We've used.
I think the trick is to integrate it.
And the idea is that you communicate with other people using the forum, and you can set up extra forums if you want to
When we use the learning platform, there's much less of me standing up and telling the class facts and much more of, right, this is what we're trying to find out, and off you all go and find it out for yourselves. They teach each other and they find their own pathway.
Why are we doing diseases? Because Nanny's got some information. Alright, okay.
Today they felt in control of what they were learning, and they were the historians. The main objectives of the lesson were for the children to find things out about Tudor exploration.
Right, there is a report up there for you to have a look at.
One of the elements of the day was a treasure hunt. The clues would come up on the learning platform every 10 minutes, telling them some fact and then prompting them to find out more. The great thing about using the learning platform was that it didn't matter where they were when the information was sent, because they could receive it on the smartboard in the classroom, on their handheld devices, or in the ICT suite. One of the clues was that there was something that had been found in the New World that was more valuable than gold. So they followed the link to Explore, saw a photograph of these items that had been hidden somewhere, looked on the map to see where those items were.
Wait, I know where it is. It's over there. Well, wait, yeah, okay, let's go.
The children went out and found the things around the school.
Yeah, I can believe that. Hey, look, here's a map. Where is it? What does it say? This world map of 1507 includes America for the first time.
Using the forums and the instant messenger on the learning platform meant that they didn't have to pause from whatever they were doing to communicate with the rest of their group or to find things out from other people in other groups. And there was people sending questions to the computer suite, and then the people in the computer suite were finding it out and sending it back.
While large Tudor ships would carry a surge and diseases still rampant, dysentery was commonplace. As was scurvy.
The use of the learning platform allows me to reach more of the different learning styles which children have. The best quality work I've had this year is when we use the learning platform to its fullest, because the learning platform helped inspire children.
Earlier on this term, we made a Tudor wiki, which the children worked on collaboratively. So some of them used that today for their research, which was great because that showed that they had confidence in what they'd found out before, and they knew there were things there that were relevant to today. The fact that they could share their knowledge with other children helps them, because they have to think about what they found out when they're going to tell someone else. So it really does mean that they have to be quite sure about what it is that they've learnt.
Can you find some information on any Tudor times creatures?
By looking at the way that they were interacting with each other in the forum, we could make sure that they were on task. I used the forum to help me with the teaching. For example, I knew that in the food ration packet it talked about peas pudding, but it didn't explain what peas pudding was. So I put a question on the forum asking them what peas pudding was. We also had a second forum where they could ask an expert. On this occasion, the expert was one of the Year 6 teachers, but we have used people that weren't in school. The great thing about using the learning platform is the expert doesn't have to travel all the way here. As long as they can use the computer, then the children can have access to someone who knows more than the teachers do about the subject.
Scene 3, near the end of the voyage.
I feel terrible.
Same.
I'm gonna be sick.
Don't think we have scurvy. My teeth are falling out.
Using the learning platform and structuring the day in this way really personalised their learning, because they could choose what they were particularly interested in, what they wanted to pursue, how they wanted to produce their final piece of work.
Mary Rose was a fine warship. It is the only 16th century warship in the whole world.
The learning platform offers quite a lot of opportunity for peer assessment, because they can see what the other groups are doing whilst the activity is still continuing and comment on it.
Right, there's been some work that's been put up here through the afternoon.
At the end of the day, we gathered together to see some of the work that had been done. Because we could upload things to the learning platform, it meant that we could look at them straight away. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to view it all, but the great thing is that it's on the learning platform, so it can be viewed at a later date, at home or in the classroom. And for some of them, they're quite happy to perform in front of a camera, but they would be less than happy to stand up and actually do that in front of the class. So even those children that are quite nervous and quiet can still produce something that they can show everybody. As well as adding a great deal to the lesson, using the learning platform meant the lesson didn't stop at the end of today.
Off with their heads!
The lesson can continue at home, or when they have time in the ICT suite, because they can message each other, they can use the forum, they can upload work and then show it to other people at school.
What we did a little drama on...
This evening, I checked the learning platform, and there were 6 Year 6 children logged in to the learning platform. After school, they'd been fired up over the day, they'd done a lot of work, and now they were back on, carrying on at home. The learning platform is only one part of it. The second step was probably the network, which allows you to see outside the classroom. And when that network becomes wireless, you begin to have the possibility of not just one, but many devices connecting and sharing together.
Can I send a message to Charlie and Anika just to say that we got it?
The possibilities are endless. But that's when real learning is going to take off, and it's going to mean people changing their pedagogy and how they learn. It is the thing that people who are enthusiastic in ICT and education have been dreaming about for 20 or 30 years, and it's now just becoming possible.